In this video, I'm going to show you a drill that you can practice and alongside with the variations of it that you can do on practicing your chambers when it comes to doing kicks. Now, as you're going to watch throughout this video, the drill that I'm going to show might not fit, quote unquote, fit into your martial art discipline, but I totally guarantee you, practitioner, that this drill can be smoothly transitioned into the chambering position or the way you learn the chambering and kicking in your martial art discipline. So this all applies to all martial art styles, regardless of what you practice. So without further ado, okay, let's begin. The drill that we're going to do, together with the variations of doing it, is doing this. I know what you've been thinking, just that? Well, sarcasm aside, yes, that would be the only drill that you're going to do, but we're going to do a whole lot of variations of it, like I'll be showing at least 2 or 3 in doing the variation of doing that tap. So what you're actually doing is just raising your leg, whichever leg you want to raise on this drill, but I recommend that doing both. Not at the same time, because you're going to be doing that and you're not practicing that. We're going to do it simultaneously. So what you're just doing is tapping your heel with your hand. That's it. So if you're very familiar in playing hacky sack, or the Filipino game of sipa, which literally means kick, you're actually doing the same motion. But instead of doing the hacky sack on this portion of the leg, you're actually doing the bladed portion, or should I say the heel. So you're just doing this. Now, you can do this on the beginning stage if you have not done this before, or if you haven't played hacky sack or sipa yet. What you're just going to do is to raise your leg, whichever leg, right or left, and just try to tap the heel of your leg without bending either side. You want to maintain a standing position as relaxed as possible. You don't have to be stiff. As straight and relaxed as possible, and then raise your leg and tap the heel. So that'll be the beginning stage. So just do that. You can do this as many times as you want, as many times as you like. But if that's too boring for you, and you've already tested that one part of your body, either this side or this side, has been properly stretched, warmed up, and you can reach fairly well your heel by tapping it, most likely on hip distance or hip height, then you may want to do it as repeatedly as possible without letting your foot down. So it's going to be like, what you're actually doing here, by doing that is you're testing, or should I say, training your balance. So you're now including balance into that motion. So it kind of puts you into another gear of training that, since this one it might be too easy for you. So you may want to do this again as many times as you want, and balancing on one leg. If you can't do that yet, then you might want to digress. So if you can't do repeated taps while standing on one leg or balancing on one leg, as I mentioned, you may want to digress or regress, and by doing so, you may want to have something to lean on, a wall, a pole, or a chair, and hold on to that object for you to lean on, not fully on your on that object, because you're not going to be able to reap the benefit on balancing on your balancing leg. So either leg is fine. So if you're training your left on tapping, you're going to balance on your right, obviously. So you're going to lean on this side, continue to tap, and then just drop your leg normally if you're tired. Now, If you're doing on one leg, it's strongly recommended and suggested that you do both legs so that you'll be able to chamber on both legs whenever you're going to do kicks. It might be that I'm just going to show throughout this whole video roundhouse chamber, so it's going to be here. But you can also practice doing that and the variations of doing the heel taps on all kinds of chambers. So you might want to practice on side, you might want to practice on front chambers, and all that stuff. So another variation that you can do once you're kind of bored in doing repeated heel taps and you've already practiced the bouncing leg, now you can practice doing a tap and hold. So before you're doing this, now you're going to do tap and just hold. Yeah, just hold that chambering leg. And what you're actually doing here is not only training your bouncing leg, not only training your balance, but you're also training your chambering leg to stay chambered as long as possible, because you want to control your chamber and be able to kick at any time you want, because it's faster to kick when you've already chambered your leg, as opposed to, okay, my opponent's not doing anything yet, so I'm going to lower my leg down. Oh, he's done something, and then I'm going to kick. That's going to take a whole lot of time. So it's probably better to train your chamber, hold it as long as possible, holding your heel, bouncing on your leg, bouncing leg, and then just drop it down. So again, either leg, you should train both sides. Now that we've covered at least two variations of doing this, you obviously saw that we're just doing it in place. So I'm just showing heel taps and heel hold while I'm still in my place. I'm not moving around. I haven't even done a single fighting stance yet. So that'll be the next transition that we're going to do. Again, if you have not trained again in bouncing your leg, I strongly suggest that you would want to have an object that you could lean on for at least 30% of your weight, a wall, pole, or a chair. And you should practice both of your legs. So the next variation we're going to do is to transition this and this in a fighting position. So whatever fighting position that you learn from your martial art discipline, this can be applied. But I'm going to show you a neutral fighting position where everybody can be able to adapt. So we're going to do bladed stance. Doesn't matter if you're going to step forward or step back, as long as your body is in a 45 or 30-degree angle and your eyes are looking straight forward. Hands up, your hands are near your face like this, or might be your lead hand forward, rear hand back, as comfortable as you want. Making sure that your elbows are close to your kidneys, simulating that you're in a sparring match. Like so. The side view. Here. Want to drop your heel down or up, doesn't matter. Now, to transition in doing the heel tap first, what you're going to do is, because you've already done the heel tap in place, what you're going to actually train in this drill now is to do a heel tap while taking a natural step. What I mean by a natural step is, if you're going to do a heel tap in place, your leg naturally goes down without even any effort from you. Your leg naturally goes down to the ground after you do the heel tap. But if you're going to do a fighting stance, and you put your weight forward, so as I do it beside you here, as you put your weight on your lead leg, so you're kind of leaning forward as you do this drill, what you're actually doing is naturally taking a step. So you're just letting your leg drop in front of you, kind of like really taking a step. So what the heel tap, natural step taking looks like is this. Like so. Maintaining a fighting position, heel tap, take a step. like so. So once you've got that concept, you can do multiple heel taps before you take that natural step. So instead of just doing one, taking a step, maintaining your fighting stance, you can do multiple heel taps. Like so. Now what you're actually simulating here now is chambering your leg while you are in a fight or while you're in a sparring match. So instead of doing this drill, once you already are very good in doing this kind of drill, you're going to transition that into doing a leg chamber. Then taking a step down. Now the reason why I said that is because the common mistake that you're going to do in doing the heel tap in a fighting stance is that you're going to drop your rear hand down. Because we're doing the rear leg, you're going to drop your rear hand down when you're doing the kick. And I know that it's natural for most people, but there are some cases where it's not correct in doing so, because you're actually showing your opponent that you're open and that you're also being telegraphic. So you may want to be careful in doing that. So if you're actually used to doing this a whole lot, and then you transition in doing kicks, say a low kick, and you lower your rear hand, in this case down, you might want to practice not dropping your rear hand. So you just chamber, hold, then drop down, take a step. And so the next transition, or the next variation that you're going to do now, is to do a hold while you're in a fighting stance. So let's say I'm going to do the lead leg right here, facing here. So instead of just doing this, what you're actually going to do now is to hold it for as long as possible in a chambering leg. Doesn't matter if you're going to take a step or just take a step back. As long as you hold your chambering leg as long as possible while holding your heel. So it's going to be like this. Like so. You can use the taps and heel hold because you're holding your heel while you're holding your chambering leg on any type of kick that you're doing. So it doesn't matter what type of kick that you want to practice. If you want to train chambering your leg, chambering your kicking leg, or want to train in doing balance, this is a good drill or a good exercise that you can do in all types of kicks that you're doing. So for most of this video, we have seen doing the roundhouse, but you can also do it in side kicks, like so, or front kicks. But remember that the common mistake that you're going to instill yourself if you're too concentrated in doing this is to let your hand down. So do not let your hand down unless you know that it's going to be a feint, or unless you know that your opponent's not going to take that hint in order to hit you. So there you have it. This is a drill that you can do in practicing your chambers and doing kicks. Doesn't matter the kick height, as long as you can hold the chamber of your leg as long as possible, that's fine. So hopefully this helps you in your training, and thank you so much for watching this video. Again, God bless you all, always train safe, and take care.